Hi, my name's John. Welcome to part 5 in a series of short videos all about this Arctic AC/DC 260 amp inverter TIG welder. I've had the welder for quite a few years now. It has done quite a lot of work. What I want to try and do in this video is cover a little bit about stainless steel tube welding, especially purge welding. That's putting an argon purge inside the tube to get a better quality of weld. Not to show you how to weld, more to show you how to get the best out of the machine and some of the settings I've found that actually work. That's enough talk. We're going to do some welding. I'll try and get some shots through a welding mask, and then we can have a look at the different effect that the purge gas has on TIG welding stainless steel. This is the basic setting I use for welding stainless. It's straight DC. We'll go through the settings. Start at the beginning. Right, pre-flow. I've got no pre-flow gas because I'm using the foot pedal. Start amps as low as it'll go. No upslope. I've got the main welding amp set at 50. I probably won't need all of that. No downslope. End amps as low as it'll go once again. And pre-flow, post-flow, that's gas that comes out after I finish welding, is set at about 9 seconds. So we've got 50 amps on straight DC, no pulses, nothing, just a straightforward DC arc. This is the torch setup I use, up to about 120 amps on DC. It's a CK WP9 torch with a flex head. Really nice, lightweight torch. I've got a gas lens on. Gas lens is made by TIG wire. I'm using a 2.8 blue tungsten. I use them for everything, and the collet I'm using is a wedge type collet. I find them better than the ordinary copper ones. Using this gas lens means you can have quite a long stick out on your electrode to get into awkward places. It's also easier for me for filming. You can run as far as that if you want to. I normally run about ½ an inch. That's a torch setup. This is a piece of 316 grade stainless steel tubing. What I'm going to do is hold the tungsten slightly above it, strike an arc and gently turn the material by hand so we get a continuous beater weld all the way around, running at about 40 amps, so it should go all the way through. There's no purging at all in this pipe, it's normal atmosphere inside, and we'll see what sort of result we'll get from that. That's quite a reasonable weld. It's a nice gold colour. The blues and purples are for sure really. They've been overheated. That's the colour you want for a decent fusion weld on stainless. It looked great on the outside. We'll have a look inside of it. Right, when you look inside, if the camera will focus, you can see it's what they call sugar, or what they call dingleberries. That's where the molten metal reacted with the atmosphere and it's oxidised. So that stainless now is no longer stainless. It'll collect, if it was a milk or a food line, it's going to collect bacteria. If it was an exhaust system, it's a weak weld. It's not good at all. Right, next I'm going to show you the setup I use for purging, and we'll do a purged weld right next to it. Then we'll cut the tube in half, and I'm sure you'll be able to clearly see the difference between the purged weld and the unpurged weld. To stop the oxide forming, we need to take away the atmosphere from inside the tube. To do that, we'll put on what's called an argon purge. I've got a little blanket plug here that goes into the end of there. I've got quite a few of these. I make them for different sized tubes. Arctic and actually supply a set of ready-made ones. Right, so that end's blanked off with the tube going into it for the argon. This end here needs sealing up. Depending on where you are and how far away the heat's going to be, you can use masking tape. You can put in a blanket plug in there, but it must have a vent. I use this aluminium foil tape that they use for insulating houses or holding insulation on. It's ideal. Okay, so it's sticky backed aluminium foil that goes on there like that, and that'll form a nice gas tight seal. We need to put a vent hole in. Put a little vent in the back, just like that. Form like a little valve, and the argon will blow out of there. Now argon is heavier than air, So ideally, if you can, you need to have the vent high up so the organ purge goes all the way through. But in the real world, you just do what you've got to do. We'll lift it up slightly, but we shouldn't have a problem getting an organ purge all the way up into there. There's an aluminium purge plug I made for some smaller diameter pipe. You can get a splitter to go on your regulator so you can run 2 flow meters. I just run a separate bottle of organ, a small bottle of organ, and I use that for purging. The organ line simply plugs onto the end of there. And we'll turn the organ on, let it run for a few seconds, and then I try and run it at about 3 to 4 cubic foot a minute. It doesn't take a great lot, just enough to take all the atmosphere out of the inside of there. That's actually a Y piece on there, so you could have your welding set fastened to that side. And all I do, you open that valve, and the organ, you can see the little board's lifted, and the organ's running there. When you stop welding, you mustn't forget to turn it off because it's wasting organ when it's running. That's all you need, a small trickle of organ like that, and that'll purge that piece of tube quite nicely. Right, so I'm going to run another bead next to that one, exactly the same, just slowly turn it like that. This time though we've got an organ atmosphere inside of there. Right, once again we've got a nice clean golden coloured weld. It's a little bit wobbly because I'm trying to weld around cameras. So we'll take the tape off the end, have a look inside, see what sort of result I've got, then I'll cut that section of tube out so I can really see what's going on in there. I've cut that section of pipe out, you can see the 2 welds there, they're both decent welds. We'll look on the inside, that's the difference. That's the unpurged weld. You can see where the dingleberry or the sugar in is, and that's the nice bright shiny purged weld. That's like chalk and cheese, massive difference. That's been purged properly, that hasn't. I'm going to cut a bit of tube in half, square the ends up, and I'll do a full joint, weld it together, just a fusion joint with no filler rod, and we'll have a look and see how that turns out. Right, I've been and trimmed the ends of the tube on the lathe so it's actually a perfect fit up, there's no gap at all. So we won't be using filler wire. I'll probably put 3 or 4 tacks on it and then just weld it all the way around. And hopefully we'll put a nice purge in there and we should have a really nice bright clean weld inside. Right, so that's welded quite nicely. The bits that are good are really good. The bits that aren't good. Like I say, I'm not a welder, but it's not too bad considering I'm welding on the camera. I'm going to go and cut it, section it, and have a look inside and see what sort of result we've got. I don't know if you can see it there with the camera or not, but it is nice, bright, shiny, silver ring all the way around. Right, I'm sure you can see that. There's no oxidation at all, no sugar in there. That's a nice weld. That one as well. You can see we have stop and start. It's not very consistent, but like I say, it's not to show you how to weld, it's to show you a little bit about what the machine's capable of. That bit there is really good. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. I hope you found something useful and learnt a little bit about purging with argon gas on stainless tube. Artec can supply Y pieces, extra gas flow meters, bung kits, everything you need to do purging with argon. If you don't decide to buy any product from Artec, don't forget, mention my name, it certainly won't do any harm. Anyway, thanks for watching.